In 1996, Bear Grylls was at an altitude of 16,000 feet, preparing to skydive. The red light on the plane door signaled it wasn't time to jump. Suddenly, the light turned green. A man opened the door and shouted, "Go, go, go." One by one, all of Bear's friends jumped out. Bear, feeling stressed with cramping legs, hesitated but took a deep breath, looked down, and finally jumped with his parachute. As soon as Bear jumped from the plane, he began falling at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. The altitude quickly decreased from 15,000 feet, 10,000 feet, to 5,000 feet in a matter of seconds. At just 3,000 feet, Bear deployed his parachute. However, it didn't slow him down as expected. Bear looked up and saw the strings of the parachute tangled, and the parachute was not opening correctly. He was still plummeting toward the ground. Bear desperately tried to straighten the parachute, but it was too late. The ground was fast approaching. In a final attempt, Bear tried to pull his reserve parachute, but it was too late. At 16,000 feet, Bear crashed into the ground with a massive impact, bouncing like a rag doll. The force of the crash felt like someone had driven a stone into his spine. The pain was excruciating, and he couldn't move or even crawl. His surroundings were desolate, a barren desert. A few hours later, his friends found him and rushed him to the hospital. Bear was writhing in pain, losing consciousness repeatedly. Once at the hospital, doctors gave him an injection, relieving his pain momentarily. The next time Bear regained consciousness, he found himself on an airport runway, being flown back to the UK, alone and crying, blaming himself for the accident. Upon arriving in the UK, Bear was admitted to the hospital, where an X-ray revealed 3 major fractures in his spine, T10 and T12. The doctor was uncertain about his recovery, stating that surgery wasn't an option. The best approach was to wait and let his body heal naturally. Bear was fitted with a large metal brace, but even the slightest movement caused intense pain. For the next 2 months, Bear remained bedridden, replaying the accident over and over in his mind. He criticized himself for panicking and not acting quicker to save himself, thinking that he could have landed the parachute slowly or opened the reserve parachute sooner. After 90 days, Bear was discharged from the hospital, but his condition remained the same. He lay in bed, thinking about his future. One day, his eyes landed on a picture of Mount Everest on the wall, a dream shared by Bear and his father to climb the mountain. Bear, despite his severe condition, managed to get out of bed and approach the picture. He declared, "No matter what happens, I will walk again and climb Everest." Bear realized that with his injuries, he could no longer continue his career in the army. The doctors told him he couldn't jump from parachutes anymore and had limitations on lifting weight. Bear went to his commanding officer and resigned, understanding that he had no future in the army. With no job or income, Bear found himself in a dire situation. Climbing Everest required millions of rupees, which he didn't have. However, his determination kept him going. Bear joined a friend's Everest expedition, but the financial hurdle remained. He wrote letters to potential sponsors, including 23 letters to Sir Richard Branson, but received no responses. Bear was now ready to begin his Everest expedition. However, in 1996, 8 climbers had lost their lives on Everest due to harsh weather, and the challenge remained daunting. Despite the odds, Bear's team trained rigorously in preparation for the climb. In March 1998, Bear and his team reached the Everest base camp, where they encountered a massive vertical wall. The death ratio on Everest was 6-to-1 that year. Despite the odds, the team started their ascent. On April 7, 1998, Bear and his team began climbing, but they soon discovered that the climbing ladders and ropes were damaged. They had no choice but to return to the base camp. While descending from Camp 1, Bear fell into a crevasse, deep enough that he couldn't see the bottom. The rope that caught him was only able to hold for a few more seconds. Bear screamed for help, and his teammates pulled him out, just in time to save his life. This was the second time Bear narrowly escaped death. Bear was badly injured, with a swollen elbow and deep fatigue. He was advised to rest for several days. Though shaken, he kept reminding himself, challenges are part of achieving big goals. I won't give up. After a few days of rest, Bear resumed his climb. He reached Camp 1, then Camp 2, and eventually Camp 3. He was now mentally and physically prepared for the final ascent. Just before the final push, Bear fell gravely ill with a chest infection, which kept him from climbing for several days. A massive storm was also forecast, which could prevent him from summiting. Bear, frustrated, prayed for a chance to recover. Miraculously, the storm shifted, giving Bear 2 extra days to climb. He immediately set off on his final ascent. Though still weak, Bear pressed on with determination. At 26,000 feet, Bear entered the death zone, where oxygen levels are dangerously low. Despite the freezing temperatures and constant danger, Bear remained focused on his goal. He reminded himself, there's no plan B. After 17 hours of grueling climbing, Bear was only 400 feet from the summit. Motivated by his past struggles and his determination to fulfill his dream, Bear pushed forward. At just 23 years old, Bear Grylls became the youngest Briton to summit Mount Everest, proving that the impossible is possible. Years later, Bear reflected on his painful journey, sharing a photo of his accident and stating, "Yes, I still feel the pain every day, but what can you do? Everyone has to endure their own pain." I hope you found this story incredibly motivating. If you're interested, there's also a fascinating story about Sylvester Stallone. You can find the video in my channel. Please do subscribe, like, comment and share this video. See you in the next video. Thank you.